And we're live. We're live.
We are live.
All right. So we are a couple minutes behind just because Emily's a busy person. And I had to try to figure out how to get the internet working right. So I've got to get hardwired in. So hopefully we don't break up too much on everybody today. But I wanted to introduce everybody, and I'm going to adjust our screen a little bit so everybody can see you better. So I wanted to introduce everybody to Emily Crooke. You have, if anyone has been on LinkedIn, they've seen your face. They've seen you come onto their screen. They've seen you pop on because you just organically suddenly popped out there. When no one was really doing video on LinkedIn, you started doing video. And you basically came on the scene and said, "Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm going to go on this journey, and you're going to come with me." And like everyone did. Everyone started following what you were doing and how you were going. And literally, I mean, I remember watching your views just go up. And it was amazing. So I wanted everyone to just get to know you a little bit more than they already do, because you've been an open book on social media. So everybody really knows you.
Everyone knows me. They see me for the first time and they're like, "I know all about you. I know you know nothing about me, but I know you're the next person." I know.
And it does that, because you just put it out there, let everybody know who you were, and to see you just organically get so much following. People like myself are like, "Man, no one follows me."
That's not true.
So you're like, wow, And so it's amazing to people to see how you've been able to obtain a large following, and then you've also learned things along the way. So I'm just going to just kind of hand it over to you and let you introduce everybody to you, because I mean you've done so much, and again, there's so much to you with the fitness and what you've done with where you're going in project management and how you've helped create products, and there's so much. So let's just start out.
Where do I even start? So I went to the University of Florida. So to all of our Gators out there watching, go Gators.
Go Gators.
Yes. I got my undergrad in business management, and then I minored in Spanish. Así que yo hablo un poco español. And then I further went on to get my master's in international business. But during that time, I've always been like a huge entrepreneur as well as a huge fitness goer. And so before I even started my journey on LinkedIn, I was known in college as the girl that did those fitness competitions. So I was at the gym every day at 5 a.m. because every book I read said that's what you got to do to be successful. And I was like, Roger, that's what I'm going to do. And I guess to kind of segue into my journey on LinkedIn, I started my first video. I was laying in my bed. I had no clue what I was doing. And I don't know why, but I was like, I'm just feel like doing a video and let's just document my journey. At the time, I was in mortgages for the first time. So I was like, I'm going to be the first 8-figure earner at 24 years old. So I figured it would be cool if someone saw my first video. That was the thought that was inside my head. So here I am on my bed talking to my phone for a minute. And then I posted on LinkedIn, first post I've ever done. This was about 2 years ago. And I think it got over 1,000 likes, like 100,000 views, and hundreds of comments. And I was like, what? What did I just do? And from there, my whole purpose on LinkedIn was to promote positivity and motivation. And my purpose wasn't to grow a following, because I've never had really a big following on any social media. But little to my surprise, over the course of a few months, I went from like 0 to about 40,000 followers. And we created like a really awesome sense of community. So that's a little bit of my LinkedIn journey at the beginning. And then I guess to target my fitness side, going along with me competing for a few years during college, I dove into the realm of e-commerce and selling my own fitness guides and video-based programs. And that was my first own business where I created my own product. Targeted to sororities all across campus, made a couple $1,000s like every month for about 6 months. And I was like, I'm just like killing it. So that was my first business venture.
That's awesome. I didn't know you did. I didn't know you had done the fitness videos and stuff out there and make it. Yeah, you're rolling in it, especially college money.
Oh my gosh. Well, see, and I never even spent any money. I wasn't your typical college student. I never partied or anything. I sold my biggest product. I think I made $6,000 in 1 month. It was a 21-day fitness guide to become to get your bikini body ready. And so I sold it 21 days before spring break. And I thought that was convenient for all the sorority girls. So for 1 week, I went to every single sorority girls dinner, like every single day, Monday to Friday. And I made my own little website, like a free thing. It looked awful. Like it did not look official at all. But I was like, it does a job. I sold it all through a private Facebook group. No cost to me at all other than my time. And I was extremely surprised by the outcome.
Yeah, just getting out there and making it happen. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, you got to, if you want it, you go get it. That's how it is.
And you can't be afraid to fail. And any sense of fear, I know, like held me back. When I was so nervous, it's like, what if no one buys this? I remember like staring at my phone. I had the registration open for like 3 hours. And I was like, oh my gosh, calling my mom. No one's going to buy this. I totally just embarrassed myself for a whole week in front of all the sorority girls across campus. But you just kind of got to put yourself out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
kind of what you, it's kind of what you did with the social media side too. And all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. And one thing I had to remind people about, because people see me now and they're like, how did you create such a big following? Well, they see me right now at this one point in my life, but they don't see the past. Now it's been about 2 years since I've been posting, and it's basically like you're watching a TV show. So you'll watch your first episode, and let's say you're not the biggest fan of these characters, but as the season progresses, you like start to get emotionally invested into their lives and you want certain outcomes. Well, basically that's the best analogy I could use to what I did. But rather than creating a character, I was literally being authentically myself. And I think that it was the biggest differentiator, because we're surrounded by social media and we see a lot of these highlight reels where I would be, authentic with, I started mortgages. Okay, I'm not doing mortgages anymore, and this is what I'm doing. Oh, here, I failed at this point. Here's a huge struggle that I overcame. So I just wanted to be completely transparent, and that was my big message.
Yeah, and I think that resonates more than anything in trying to gain a social media exposure and getting a good following, is just try not to paint the fake image, just paint the real image. It's that people want to see the real you, and people like to understand who you are and like you for who you are. And so when you try to present you the best you or the best of everything, you lose folks because you don't seem as authentic for people to follow you.
Yeah, and I think like that message goes beyond social media. And during the past couple of years, I've been in several different industries, and you learn about marketing, but most importantly, you learn about sales. And they're one of the reasons why sales individuals get bad reps is because they're always like pushing and they portray this life where they're driving a McLaren, they're living in this crazy house, but in reality, you don't know what's really happening.
Yep.
Like the more authentic and the more real you're going to be, that's where you actually gain these connections. And everyone says business is about building relationships, and the best relationships build on the foundation of trust. And so without being truthful to yourself, how do you expect to even get a relationship and then thus get business from another individual? Yeah.
And in today's world, especially with the COVID thing, it's almost hard to be able to be in front of people physically anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're really having to get into this digital age of being able to be authentic and using social media and leveraging all the tools so people can get to know who you are and be able to network through these means. And a lot of folks are starting to catch on to that and almost forced to now to be able to do a lot of business this way. And, for as big of a network that you've built, when you started on your LinkedIn journey and your other social media platforms, I mean, I was just watching your growth, and as you learned and watching you learn as you go, and seeing you get, I see a lot of people that get a lot of followers, and then it's hard to keep up with all of the interaction you're getting and trying to balance that out with your life and everything. Like, how did that work out for you? Because you have 40, I think LinkedIn maxes you at 40,000 or something like that, but then you still got people just pounding you with messages constantly.
Yeah, well, so LinkedIn maxes your connections at 30,000, but the amount of followers, like the amount of people that could actually press the follow button and follow you, is unlimited.
Got it.
Do I have a balanced life? No. Is it something I'm working on? Yes. So my heart is, if someone like takes the time to comment on my post or to inbox me, I do my very best to respond. And you'll notice that if you look at my post, I try my best to respond to every single comment and send back a message. I can't, unfortunately, because there's just too many now. But I wouldn't be the perfect example of what balance looks like.
I don't know if anybody actually is, especially if you start getting pulled. I mean, it's almost like, folks, even on a celebrity level, because everybody wants their attention, and you can only give so much of yourself, where you have to step back and take a moment in time to step away from this social media world and get, balance that. I need to spend time with my family, with who I am, and then balance that back and forth and find ways to do that. And that's a big challenge on this, because it can consume you if you're not careful.
And we kind of discussed this before we went live, but I was consistently on LinkedIn for about a year, and I grew it up to about 40,000 followers. And I took like 8 months and I didn't post a single thing. And I did that more for my mental health, because I'm a perfectionist, OCD type person, and I'm extremely obsessive. And so I started focusing on, okay, if a post didn't get over 1,000 likes and over like 100,000 views, what am I doing wrong? It's like, it's because of me. Not to take into account that LinkedIn has its own algorithm. As I started posting videos, other people understood that you could create a huge reach for free. It's free marketing. Yeah. So then my audience became more saturated. So there's a lot of different factors that came in, but at the end of the day, I felt myself comparing to the person who was receiving more engagement than me, and I never felt enough. So it's like me driving a Camry, and I'm comparing myself to that person driving a Lamborghini, but I'm not going to compare myself to someone who's driving a 50-year-old rundown car. Mm-hmm. So I took a solid 8 months, and I was not on any form of social media, and I simply had my head down, focused only on my business, and then came back to LinkedIn thinking no one's going to remember me. Well, it's quite the opposite. Yeah. I opened LinkedIn with, I think it was around 750 inboxes asking if I was okay, if I was still alive. And once I started posting, the engagement was still there. And I think it comes down to me being completely authentic this whole time. Mm-hmm. And I'll just, opening up. This was the reason why I wasn't on social media, but I'll do my best now. And so when I started back, I started posting once a week and then twice a week. And now I post when I want, and there's no requirement on it for me. So,
and that that makes your life easier. Just if you try to, I'll try to do sometimes a video a day, and that can get cumbersome, especially when you're trying to actually work too, and trying to come up with content and all that kind of stuff. It's tough, and I tell people all the time when you're trying to build social media following, consistency is the game, but at the same time, you've also got to figure out how you balance that out where it doesn't drive you nuts either.
Yeah, and then there's a controversy of quality over quantity, where like Gary Vaynerchuk will post like quantity. Just keep posting and posting and posting, and then they're going to see your name, and then you could see out of all your posts which perform best. But coming from someone like me, I'm more about the quality. But then I hyper-focus and hyper-analyze over every little thing when I'm like, okay, is that necessary? So it's really finding out, what works for you and what is your strategy. Like, what's the end goal of you posting on it? For me, it's literally to bring a smile to someone else's face, because I now measure my success on how many people I can affect positively in my day, mm-hmm. rather than by a numerical number like in my bank account. So it's what are you measuring as success, and what is your end goal of content?
Yeah, and trying to figure out what your content's really going to get you, where you're trying to get your end goal is. Like you've been able to get so many people doing push-ups I've never seen, with your push-up challenges,
And honestly, like everyone asks, like, why are you on LinkedIn? Like, what is your end goal? And I don't have an end goal. Through the 2 years, I've been able to speak at different business conferences and get paid for it. I've had the blessing of working with a couple companies doing consulting and doing work I never thought was even like possible. So I'm like, things are just happening. So it's like you just spread positivity and you never know. Like I'm such a big planner where I want to plan like 3 months, 6 months, a year. But in reality, I don't know what's going to happen like next year. Like who would have thought this COVID-19 would happen?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So,
unbelievable. And I mean, you were your connections, your following, everything you got was able to get you some investors came in. You all created a product that you sold, and you kind of didn't Mako kind of come out of that where you're working now?
Yeah. So the job that I have now, it's a medical company based out of North Carolina, and I was put on a team to be the lead of a nutritional DNA product, which is like one of those at-home genomics tests that are going pretty viral. So this is what we created. But it was cool because this is like another product that I was on where we started off with just an idea. There was nothing on paper, just discussions and people talking, from the inception to actually launching, which is about 12 months. But it's been like a huge learning curve. So I'm very blessed. And that was through LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just cool. Is the engagement, they got to see you, they got to know who you were. They said, this is someone we want to get to know. Let's reach out to her and see if we can get her to come on our team, and boom, there you go. And just like the other product that I think you were involved with as well. So I mean, it's just that's the thing. So even though you really didn't have an end game at this thing, the end game came to you.
Yeah, and I think it's like a good message where basically credentials on paper, they carry weight, but not as much as like who you are and how driven and motivated you are, because everyone on this team, they were all like, they had PhD, MD, everything. And I'm just like this 24-year-old. I was like, yeah, whatever, we got this, guys. So, and my dad's a perfect example. He doesn't have a college degree, but he has built his way up in the industry that he's in. So like those watching this now, I know a lot of people are in Gainesville. Like if you're at UF, if you're a professional, like credentials are only one thing, and it's not going to stop you from taking different approaches for personal development. Like right now, I was telling Joe, I'm taking a certification test to become a professional Scrum Master. Yeah. Which is, people are like, what is that?
Yeah, break that down, because a lot of people, me included, would have been like, what?
So my background's in business, and this certification is really geared towards software engineers, but it provides you a very strong foundation in the realm of project management. So that way you could be the translator between a lot of the developers to the business executives. So it's like a stepping stone to get to where you want to be if project management is something that you're looking for. But I'll be taking the test in 2 days. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But, so you're really doing us a favor by letting us talk to you for a little bit here while you're in the middle of studying. So I got to ask you, are you still doing the 4 a.m. wake ups?
Okay, I don't wake up at 4 a.m. anymore. Honestly, I woke up at 4 a.m. for over a year, and there was no reason why. There wasn't. It was going viral, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it because I told myself I was going to do it. I wake up around like 6:30, 7 now. Yeah.
It's about where I'm at, 6 or 6:30. Depends on when the kids get up. It's pretty much when I get up. I usually try to get up a little bit before they do. So.
Yeah. So I have to stop and ask myself now before I do something, okay, like, why am I doing it? Like, was it necessary for me to wake up at 4 a.m.? No, it wasn't.
No, 4 is tough. I tried that a couple times, and that's like, I can do 5. 4 is tough.
Yeah, it was tough. It was completely dark outside. The gym didn't open up till 5. So I had time to, do a little meditation, eat breakfast. And I was the first one at the gym. I just stood there waiting for it to open.
Outside. So how are you, because you're really into fitness. And so how are you handling this COVID thing now? You can't go to the gym.
No, so I've been doing a lot more calisthenic style training. So it's a lot of body weight stuff. So I'm big into push-ups and one-arm push-ups, squats, lunges. I do like runs outside. I rollerblades. Been rollerblading. So I make sure I get my sweat in every day. I work out for about an hour and a half every single day religiously.
Okay, so you're still getting it in. As I know, a lot of folks are struggling trying to figure out how we're going to do this at home, and some are more hardcore trainers and they need the weights, and so they're trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Well, we're lucky that here where I'm staying, like we do have a set of weights, and it's one of those where you can adjust it, so it can go from 5 to 55-pound weights.
Oh wow!
But when I was in college, there was like a hurricane, and so I remember the gyms were shut down for like a week. So I went out to the grocery store and I got gallons of water, and I started using that for weights on each hand. I was carrying a chair at one point and doing walking lunges. So I think people are struggling with the motivation, because when you're stuck at home, it's like, okay, well, there's a big bag of Cheetos right there, or I can go for a run. Short term, the Cheetos sound better, but long term, the run's going to be better for my body. So it's
those little decisions that start you down one way or the other.
That's why I recommend get your workout done in the morning. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah, done and over with. Get up and get it moving. I've fallen off drastically and I've got to do it bad. But
well, and we're lucky that we live in Florida too.
Yes. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm sitting outside. I mean, that's the thing it's just it's beautiful. And it was raining this morning, but in Florida, rain's gone pretty soon. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit about you and kind of how you used social media and kind of how it went with you and how it's continuing to go with you. Because like I said, since you've come back, you kind of come back out again on social media. And it was interesting to see how fast it just started picking back up for you. And that's where some folks that may have done pretty good consistently on social media, and then they fell off because they got busy and they're like, oh, I got to rebuild all this again and see if I can get a following. You're a good example of like being able to step back for 8 months of just being gone. Because I remember I was like, man, she's like gone.
Yeah.
And during that 8 months, I've seen others that have really just taken what you like kind of your design and just have accelerated with it. And then you came back and boom, you've got people just following. But now I think you've learned a lot of like how I need to balance this, where it doesn't just absorb and take over where you're staring at how many likes I got and how many things do I have, where you don't have to worry about all of that, and that right there is a tip from you that I think everyone needs to take into consideration in social media exposure is don't dwell on the likes, the views, and all that stuff. If that one didn't go, it didn't go.
Yeah.
There's always going to be another one that you can do.
I think numbers are hard, especially like when you're coming from a very obsessive person. Like let's say the number on the scale, just numbers in general are not the best measures for success. If for some people, like myself included. Yeah. So, but yeah, I kind of related to like working out. Let's say you work out for a couple years and you had an injury and you take 8 months off for an injury and you don't want to come back. It's going to be hard, but you'll be surprised. Like once you get that momentum again, it picks up right where you left off. So, yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It just keeps rolling along. I did want to highlight again you showed it a little just briefly, but that DNA test that you guys came up with.
Yes.
Touch on that for a second, because you told me about it before, and I think it's interesting. And there's some fitness folks that are watching right now would be interested in what this is.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. It's one of those at-home tests. So something you simply order online, and it's a swab. So you just swab the corners of your mouth and you send it into our lab. And what it does, it tests how your genes interact with each other. And from that gives you a detailed recommendation of how much of each micronutrient your body needs in order to like live optimally, to perform at your peak. And then we also, and this we have two tests. This one's the advanced nutritional DNA test, which is the most popular. And then we have another one for those who are pregnant, plan to be pregnant, or have just had a baby and are now lactating because their body needs different nutrients as well. But I've always been so passionate about fitness and nutrition, and the fact that every individual, we're all so unique, and keto works for some people, paleo works for some people, but what your body says about your nutrition is what you could believe. So this just gives you like a solid blueprint of these are the nutrients that your body needs to thrive. And
that's a good idea. Yeah. So you could help map out, okay, I need to eat this way and probably work out this way. And also if for a pregnant woman to understand the key nutrients that she needs to be able to optimize the nourishment for her baby.
Exactly. Yep. So it breaks down every single micronutrient, and there's a detailed summary as well as like just a simple summary for the average person to understand. But I think it's cool to have both, which we provide. And so let's say it'll say vitamin C. The average person needs X amount, but your body, Joe, you need this amount. And you can get this from X amount of oranges or this amount of strawberries. It gives you examples, as well as it tells you how your genes interact with each other. Should you focus on rigorous training, weight training, or more cardio-based training? So it's an ongoing research for me, but it's the study of nutrigenomics, which I have been extremely fascinated about. So, yeah.
Yeah, I could see you totally diving into that for sure.
Yeah, there's so many technical terms, but I know a lot of people don't understand, so I'm trying to translate them into layman terms. But wow, it's the science behind our bodies are incredible.
They are
so amazing.
When my wife got pregnant and just seeing the whole process just in that, it is amazing what the body can do, and on the fitness side, there's a whole nother gamut of that. It's just it's amazing. So that's a really interesting, and it's neat that you through LinkedIn were able to get connected with a company that creates this kind of stuff and be able to help develop that product from start to finish. And now it's sparked your interest and your passion for project management because you've got to experience it to get to the next levels, and that get your certification. And then I think from there you get to that you have to have at least 3 years before you can get to even to the next level of certification. Yeah. So, and that came from your social media exposure, to help open the door for you.
And never in a million years, if you asked me a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have thought I'd be doing this.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the beauty of this. You get out there, be real, be who you are. Unlike, kind of out of characteristic for you because you like to plan, but you really didn't have the end game to your social media exposure. It just kind of happens. So you still had the end game was what you ended up in and how you've been progressing you through life basically for yourself. So
I think also too, for those watching, if those who don't have a social media platform, and let's say that's not something that you're really interested in building, we could all use social media to connect with someone to get that next business meeting or recruit that next individual. And so on that terms, I think that it's important to differentiate yourself. So now, because I'm flooded with inboxes, I'll reach out to the people that send me video messages, or they think of something differently, send me messages in my PO box, a handwritten note. So just thinking differently. I reached out to the CEO of a big fitness company the other day. I didn't think he'd respond. I started the video with a backflip, and then it was a short 10-second video. Hey, I would just love to hop on a phone call with you. Invited to his office. So it's just thinking differently. No. See,
the backflip. I would, if I did it, it would be the end of the video. But but that I've seen you do those on LinkedIn, and those shoot through the roof because it's different, And so that's a. I mean, it's again putting yourself out there, being different. You want to get the job. You want to change your life. Don't like what you do right now. Then especially right now is a great time to learn how to be digital and virtual. And so, and you've been a good example of that for folks to watch. So I don't want to kill you on your time here. I think we're hitting 30 minutes now. So, but I appreciate you coming on to my little show that I have. And my whole purpose of this is to let people meet folks like you to help people who have businesses that want more exposure and talk about what they do. And also it's just to learn more in general, just to talk and get, because we're all stuck at home and we can't talk to anybody anymore. So we need to social interact somehow. So so I super duper appreciate you coming onto the show with me, and that we'll be talking again, I'm sure, again as you progress and people are going to follow your progression. And I'm glad to see you back on LinkedIn, so then it helps me keep up what's going on with you as well.
Yeah. So. No, I appreciate you having me. And then if you or any of the viewers here have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. It just might take me a little bit of time, but I'll be more than happy to do that.
Well, they just send you a backflip video, and maybe they can catch you. There you go.
The headline, I saw you with Joe, and I'll be okay. That's
there. You go. There you go. I saw you on Joe's stupid show. And that'll get their attention. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up and let you get back to your work, as I know you were on a call right before this one. So, and I'm sure you probably have another one right after this one. So. Yeah. So give you a couple minutes to your day so you can catch up before your next call. But if anyone wants to find you, they can find you on LinkedIn. I think, do you still have your website up?
I do. Yeah, it's still up. Yeah.
Okay, so there's ways to connect with you that way. And if you don't get back to them immediately, just understand there's a lot. It's nothing personal, but it just keep persistent. Yeah, just be persistent and you'll reach out. So. But anyway, it is great catching back up with you. Yeah, and I was in your inner circle that you had going on, and that was fun. And we had a lot of masterminds, and there was a lot of good stuff happening with that. So
we didn't even talk about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a whole nother animal out of this thing that you were doing, mastermind groups and this whole thing, and it was. We can do that on another show. What we could do is we could talk to people. I think what we'll do is another show on how to do masterminding, because some people don't understand even how that works. Yeah. So we could actually do a whole show on that. So, so we'll knock out another 30 minutes on that one. So, all right, Emily, thanks for coming on. And again, good to see you again. I'm glad things are going good, and I can't wait to see where you go with the project management stuff, because there's so many places you can go with that. It's going to be interesting to see the projects that you get in charge.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Well, you have a great day. Get on your other call, and we'll see everybody later. And hopefully we'll be back. And actually, I'm going to hopefully have Ben on next.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome. That's
going to be a good one, guys. You'll definitely want to meet up. You want to hear his story, because Ben Brookhart is an amazing guy. Yeah, amazing guy.
Wonderful man. So you send me the date of that one, because I want to be watching that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Boom baby.
Yes. Boom baby.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and thanks for being on. And we'll talk to you. Everyone else. We'll talk to everybody soon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.